This is the 5-Minute Youth Devotional Reading with Alex Sarria.
Love as a Couple, January 16th, the original idea. Moses permitted divorce only as a concession to your hard hearts, but it was not what God had originally intended. Matthew 19:8. They had tried to trick Jesus. It seemed like a simple theological game, but it was a social trap that could have cost him his life, like John the Baptist. Had he been a politician today, he would have conducted an opinion poll, and then, very cautiously, he would have issued a response. But Christ did not play with the truth. He cared more about doing good than looking good. He reminded his listeners that repudiation or divorce was not part of God's plan. It had never been. And he settled the issue once and for all, whether we like it or not. To really understand true love as a couple, we must go back to the beginning of God's original idea. For this, therefore, we must correctly understand the first chapters of Genesis. The nature of the couple is identified in these early accounts. To analyze Adam and Eve from the first stories of Genesis is to see a person who resembles God. It is seeing the being in his or her fullness. There we find the concepts of similarity, complementarity, and exclusivity, which are essential to understanding true love. Similarity means that both are in the image and likeness of God. One is not superior to the other. The difference currently is only a result of sin. The love of couple occurs between a pair, hence a couple, and not only because there are two, but also because there are two identical conditions as persons. When you truly love, there is no superiority or inferiority complexes. I call it the simplicity of love, and by this I mean that in the eyes of the other, I find an identity with myself that I find constant balance. There's complementarity because man and woman are different, and that's why they need each other to be a person in fullness. We're not just talking about sex. We're talking about abilities, worldviews, attitudes. We're talking about the beauty of the diverse united by a hug. Knowing that we are part of something prevents pride from devouring us and allows us to exercise empathy and generosity. There's exclusivity because a couple is a number. Couples in Genesis are only two of different sexes. The Bible doesn't talk about 3 or 4 or a crowd. It talks about 2. We are bothered by cultures that practice polygamy and much more those that practice polyandry. It seems that having many women or men in a relationship at once is very serious, morally speaking. That's why the Jews of Jesus' day invented successive polygamy. They changed partners at will, and there lies the saddest thing. They expected some approval from the religious leaders. As Jesus indicated, that was not the original idea. Sooner or later, we will return to Eden, and it would be good to work with those concepts of Genesis, because they are very good, among other things.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this was helpful for you, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Always remember this: walking with God is the greatest thing you could ever do. You are His priority. Make Him yours, and you will always live out your purpose. God bless.